take it. We're going to give it to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet. Happy Thursday, man. Happy January 9th, guys. This is the best January 9th in the history of the world because it's the only one that we're going to get today. So let's go ahead and make it a good one. Kyle Evans out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Maps coach, Constellation Home Sales, here to hang out with you. I have a dynamic guest today, friend of the show, incredible person, someone I've looked up to for a while and always have a pen ready to take notes. So I can't wait to share her again with you guys today. Before that, though, I made a post on the interwebs. And it's funny how things work out. And it seems to get a couple comments today. So I figured I'd share it because I think it's the perfect segue for this next guest. And it goes like this. When fishermen cannot go to sea, they repair nets. When the sea is too rough to sail, the smart ones don't wait. They get to work. They mend their nets, sharpen their tools, and prepare for the moment the storm breaks. Because even in stillness, there's progress. It's not about sitting idle. It's about building what's next. And this person's mission is about you building for the moment, getting ready, sharpening your sword, preparing your nets for when the storm breaks, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would like to welcome you to Kara Mall. Kara, good morning.
Good morning, Kyle. Oh my gosh, that quote, that phrase, that really resonated, right? Because I think it's one of we're in, and this might be why you chose it. We're in one of those periods of history where instant gratification has never been more prevalent, right?
Right.
I mean, I find myself, anytime I want to know something, I pick up my phone and I Google it. So, and I love like trivia and stuff like that. So I'm filled with lots of useless information. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not. But, it's that instant gratification. We can have everything right now at our fingertips, which is great until it's not, because, technology goes down and what do we all do? Now, you don't know this, Kyle, because I didn't tell you in our little pre-talk here as we were getting on. I'm out of town celebrating today, and went to get on, and I have a Mac. My password wasn't taking. Again and again, and I'm like, what do you do when your Mac password isn't working? And it's like, okay, we have husband's computer, we have the phone, everything, but that moment of panic.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I've got to get into action somewhere else. So the instant gratification is great, and having this information at our fingertips is great until you need to be prepared for something. And I'm all about being prepared for the future, especially with regards to conversations.
Sure.
I mean, we've talked in the past, conversations are the relationship. Our great friend Susan Scott, the author of Fierce Conversations, has said that numerous times. The conversation is the relationship. Phil Jones, one of my mentors, reiterates that all the time. Change your word, change your words, change your world. But it's not just your world, it's the people around you. And in order to do that, the worst time to think about what to say is in the moment you're saying it. So it's not practicing conversations and rehearsing conversations like they're the S word scripts. It's understanding and thinking, how would certain words or phrases better prepare you in general in life?
Yeah, man. That's one of my favorite Phil Jones bangers is the worst time to think of something to say is in the moment. Like, it's one of my favorites.
It's one of the four cornerstones. It is the cornerstone number one of effective communication.
Oh my good. And like you said, I think and this is like part of my mission in coaching. There's this just labeling of practicing what to say as coming off quote scripted or salesy, and it's not. It's just being a more effective communicator, being a master of your craft, being effective in helping people to the thing that they desire.
Yes. Well, let's think about it though. Most people do treat it as if I've got to learn exactly. Now it's gonna be an oxymoron here, right? Exactly what to say so that I can give the zinger or the throat punch. Newsflash, people, nobody wants to be zinged. Nobody wants to be punched in the throat. That is not effective communication. Effective communication is practicing how to ask better questions to really understand. It's putting yourself in that position of if I was in this, what, if I was on that end, what would I want the other person to know about me, right? Because if you are an effective communicator, you're driving the conversation by the questions you ask.
That's right. That's right. Kara, you in the beginning of the show, you talked about this instant gratification thing, right?
Yes.
And everybody, and myself included, we used to my older boulders out there, my old people out there, my more seasoned agents, you used to have to order things from a catalog, and you were lucky if it came into 2 weeks.
Yes. And now I'll tell you, I find myself getting irritated. What do you mean I can't have it this afternoon?
That's right.
Or what do you mean that next morning delivery between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. isn't available, even though I don't need it for 3 days from now? Right? That's exactly what we're conditioned to this. And if you think about it, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because what are we actually being conditioned for? I don't know.
And it's weird because it's what I say all the time to my clients. I'm like, it's just not how the world works. Like, it's how Amazon works. It's how the internet works, but it's not how, like, the good things in life, they take time. No. And you have become this, I'm just going to say the G word, guru of language patterns and how to say things and neuro-linguistic programming and helping people not just help others, but help themselves with their own language patterns. And something tells me, Kara, that it didn't happen overnight.
Oh, gosh, no. Gosh, no. And while I appreciate the thought behind the title of guru, I'm not going to accept it because
no doubt.
Here's what I know about the meaning behind guru. It's self-serving. And there's nothing about my passion for helping people communicate better that's self-serving. Unless, of course, I'm talking to my husband and I want him to actually just listen to me, right? So no, it did not happen overnight. It happened, gradually, then suddenly, as Hemingway tells us, right? It's little by little. It's the awareness. I knew there was a time years ago where, I knew the way to communicate because that was the way I was communicating was how I grew up, right? I was programmed from my parents and their communication and et cetera. And it's typically the dominant parent that you kind of take after. And in business, I thought to be a strong communicator, being a high D communication style, was you just, you just roll over everybody. The problem is if your communication style is to leave dead bodies in the wake, eventually there's no one left to communicate with or lead.
Just a lot of dead bodies.
Exactly. Like they're not listening, or they might be listening, but they're not responding. So I actually had a friend and mentor that pointed out and said, hey, you might want to think about doing things a little different. And that started basically it didn't start with going and taking language classes, although I had been taking language of sales for years, which I now teach. It was really looking introspectively at me and who I was and how I wanted to communicate, and really, Kyle, who I wanted to be in this world, who I wanted to be, right? I didn't want to be the person that runs over everybody and that led through fear. I wanted to be the person that helped people empower themselves to be better communicators through language, because it's the one thing that all of us have in the world is communication. I wanted to help people be better at that. And so I set off working on myself, and that still continues today. By no means am I, it's funny because my marketing person calls me a sales and communication expert. Well, that's her label, not mine.
That's my label for you too.
Well, it's a work in progress. I think the day that you think you've figured it all out,
sure,
you're done. You're done, because someone comes along and goes, "Huh, have you thought of this?" And you go, "No."
Yeah, it's the cane eye, right? Constant and never-ending improvement.
Exactly.
You said something important there, and I definitely want to talk about this. Is you started to learn, right? You became passionate about it, and then that passion has turned into now helping others get better as well, right?
100%.
I know that you have kind of prepared this awesome course right now.
Oh, yes.
For these people, like, because the quote in the morning, right? Maybe people are sitting there like, hey, you know what? Maybe I've just been sitting idly during this storm, and I kind of do want to change. I want something different. Something needs to happen, right? How could they utilize what you've prepared? Like, what is it? What do you got that you've been kind of marinating in the kitchen?
Well, the secret sauce that I'm working on right now, it's actually a program that I've been working on with Phil. It's part of his Academy Live series, which is totally different than his certifications, although I've got one of those coming up too that we're doing both virtually and in person. And
who is Phil?
Phil M. Jones, author of Exactly What to Say, Exactly How to Sell, and Exactly Where to Start, and probably, I think there's like 5 other books too that I'm just not going to quote off the top of my head. So, but he's a fabulous author. Really takes language and brings it down to some magic words and phrases. And so when you go to things like the certification, what we do is it's a 2-day or a 12-week immersive on how to really use these in the right order and for the most effectiveness, right? It's not about scripts. It's about understanding, having that enough knowledge and internalizing so that when you need to pull out the right tool, you can. So to answer your question, what I've been working on with Phil with the Academy Live series is next week on the 15th, 16th, 17th, we've got 3 90-minute courses. These are the first time they're all being offered in consecutively. And we did this as a people are going to need to kickstart the year. It's going to be the middle of the month. Those that had New Year's resolutions to do something different, well, they're looking around going, well, nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. Yeah, because you haven't changed. So what these 3 courses are, it's exactly how to master the art of prospecting, objection handling, and negotiation, in that order, because that's the order you would do them. You would prospect, you would objection handle, and you would negotiate. And again, they're 90-minute little intros, but man, oh man, the nuggets you're going to leave with, if you just implement one of the things that you're going to learn in the 90 minutes, it's amazing. And the really kooky thing about this, that's a very highly technical communication word.
There it is.
Kooky, is the price on them. It's $149 for all 3. Like, tell me another class where you can get that, 270 minutes of learning for $150 and actually leave with things that you can put into play right then.
That's right.
It doesn't exist.
That's like 6 Starbucks orders.
That many, huh?
Yeah, right? I'm a simple man, Carol,
Okay. Oh, that's just the coffee of the day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But no, that's a great point. Like we think about this and in myself, like ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about me right now. All right. Don't label this on you if you don't accept it. I sometimes want things to be different. And then awareness, right? And I ask myself questions. What am I actually doing to make them different? And if there's no change, it's usually that I'm not doing anything. I'm just desiring something different.
Because nothing changed.
That's right.
I mean, it took me a while to really wrap my head around the depth of the saying, nothing changes till something changes. right? And on the surface, you're like, oh, that's cute. And it's like, oh,
Dang.
wow, that it really is mind blowing. And again, in this world of external gratification, we want everybody to do the change for us. Sorry, peeps, doesn't work that way.
Shots fired.
Yep. Nobody can change you but you. And you've got to want to, and you've got to know the purpose. If we're talking words, I hate the word why.
Oh yeah.
And that's a very strong statement. And I do, because it's got such negative connotations. And when we ask ourselves, I don't know why I'm doing something. I don't know why I'm doing this, or why are you doing this? Oh my gosh, there's so much internal and unconscious strife and negativity. So if you replace the word why with purpose, what purpose am I doing this? For what purpose would I get better in my communication? And if nothing else, to lead a better life.
True.
Because the people around you, last time I checked, you probably communicate with them somehow. And that was where it really started. It wasn't with the communication when my mentor pointed that out to me with the people around me. It started out with the guy at home. And in creating a different relationship and not blaming him for not understanding me. I wasn't adequately communicating with him.
Ooh, Kara, what? Wow. I mean, you're making my eyeballs water right now. That's
well, hopefully that's the point of being here, is that we all look at something and go, man, again, we're not looking to set the world on fire. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that today. Prayers and blessings to everybody in Los Angeles. We're not looking to do that. We're looking one little change at a time. If everybody does one little change every day, every week, imagine how different the world might be. And I know it sounds altruistic, like, oh, she's talking about changing the world. Again, communication is the one thing that we all have in this world. And if we just focused on someone else other than ourselves with our communication, and we just put them first and communicated with them the way they want to for that little iota of a time, how much more peaceful and understanding would the world be that we live in?
Oh man,
yeah.
I didn't realize you were going to take me deep into my
Sorry.
feels so easy. Don't apologize about things that aren't a problem, Caramel. Wow, guys, like I trust that you're getting the same resonation out of this that I am. It's just, this is someone who spent a bunch of time on their craft and starting with themselves, right? And because they started with themselves, they're able to affect change in others. And it's not, Kara's not out here saying, hey, everybody, go join a CrossFit gym. Hey, everybody, go find a way to be an overnight millionaire. She's literally saying the words that you focus on, the structure of the sentences you say, can literally be the difference in your business, in your relationships. And I would go out on a limb, and because I know it's true for myself, the relationship you have with yourself.
That's exactly it, Kyle. When you were saying that, go out and join the gym or whatever it is, it starts with the conversation you're having with yourself. Right? Because no matter, you can say, I want to go to the gym every day, but if you don't have a conversation of purpose with yourself and say, and tune into that conversation, nothing's going to change. You're going to do it without any purpose, and then it's built on a false foundation. But if the purpose is, if I go to the gym every day, then I will lead a healthier, long life, and that's really what I desire, then it's okay. I could, or it might be, if I go to the gym today, I can eat the cupcake later. Okay, whatever it is, but it starts with that internal dialogue. And again, sometimes we judge ourselves so much with the words we're using that we're not stopping to say, is it true? Or for what purpose? Or why am I letting that person off the hook, but I'm judging myself for it? There's so many different ways you can have those internal dialogues. And again, when we're talking about things like objection handling and negotiating, The majority of the negotiating we do in life happens between our ears.
Oh, no doubt.
It's with ourselves.
No doubt. Objection, like, let's take it to business, guys. Objection handling, like she just said, starts with you. Real estate agents are the biggest discount on the planet. Here's what I mean. You guys get a listing appointment and you get in the car and you're like, man, I'm going to charge the most I can. Let's just call it, for sake of the conversation, 3% is what it's going to cost for me to list this home. Then you get in the car, you start driving and you start thinking about it. You're like, well, I would probably take it for 2.5. And then you get a little further and then you're like, the bills are piling up. I'll probably take it for 2. Then you get in front of the person and then you're like, oh, not 3? Great. 1%? We'll do it for 1%.
Can I just pay you? And I'll list your house because I really could use it.
It happens all the time. We start in our head belittling us, and then we're shocked when the person receiving our pitch doesn't see the value in it.
100%. 100%. And again, and we typically do that because we get into our nerves, because we're nervous, and that comes from not being confident, and not being confident comes from not knowing what to say or what the dialogue is, or more importantly, what to ask.
Yeah.
It all starts with, we joke with Phil a lot, saying that the book shouldn't be exactly what to say. It should be exactly what to ask.
That's right.
Because that really is the basis of it.
He who asks the questions controls the conversation.
All day long. All day long.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. Guys, look, man, I want to take a moment and say this because it's drastically important. Not only is Kara offering this incredibly valuable program, she is taking the time to come and pour into you on her birthday.
Stop it.
Today is her birthday. But it's important because that's the kind of person you are. And whenever I'm going to learn from somebody, I want to learn from somebody who shares the same value propositions that I do. Right. And that's the kind of person you are. So I want to make sure that people understand not just your big brain, but your big heart behind it.
Well, thank you. And that goes with other big parts of me too. So let's just put that out there. You're always going to get honesty and transparency. Kyle, thank you for that. And along those same lines, I mentioned the 3-class bundle that we're doing. By the way, you can take any of those individually, and I think they're like $79 each, but do the bundle for $150 when you register this week. And by the way, that's at Karamoll.com, KARAMOLL.com. And I'm sure my assistant will go in and put it in the chat afterwards. We're also giving away, for just the cost of shipping, the role play cards. Phil's exactly what to say role play cards, which are, if you buy one set, they're $56. So yeah, the amazing value. And it's just for the cost of shipping, and we'll ship those out later this month. So for literally $159, you're getting 3 amazing courses taught by someone who Phil personally pours into and teaches and mentors. And as a guide, I'm actually allowed to do that. There's a lot of people out there pretending, and no. And you get the role play cards too. So this isn't meant to be a sales pitch. This is meant to be, if you want to do something different, if you want 2025 to be a year of different for you, the listener, then you've got to make a choice to what your different is going to be. I personally can't think of a better thing than make a difference in your communication. And here's the cool part. We can do it so subtly, no one around you even notices. Because that's a fear too, Kyle, that people go, well, I'm going to go and do this. I can't start talking a certain way because they're going to know. They're going to know. No, they're not. No, they're not. Nobody's going to know. You're going to know because you're the one doing the work.
No one's going to know. No one's going to know.
No one knows.
That's incredible, man. And thank you for hanging out with us. And like you said, it's not a sales pitch. It's like, hey guys, Please do hear me. And this is where you see me getting animated because I get real here. Please do not starve to death in a grocery store. Please do not starve to death in a grocery store. Like, here's your, if you're looking for the chance, here's your sign, right? Like, please.
It is.
I know I'm signing up today.
Well, Kyle, that's awesome. And can I add one more thing to that too? Because for some people, we talked about the change begins within, and for some people, it might not be that it's the communication.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, they might go, I really need someone to hold me accountable to this, etc. As a MAPS coach, I am the head of, I'm a head coach and I'm one of MAPS performance coaches, which means we work on the mindset things too. And I know you as a MAPS coach too, Kyle, it's if you think that, man, this is the year that you want change, then reach out to Kyle, reach out to me. Let's talk about getting you with the right MAPS coach, especially right now, because if you still sign up, I think in the next week for MAPS Mastery Coaching, you get your family reunion ticket included.
Touche, dude. Touche.
So, I mean, talk about a bonus, value add bonus, right? So, I mean, if it's all starts in here, the words are a part of it. And I've got some good quick fixes that we can work on. However, if you're looking for really good, steady, long-term change, then consider hiring a MAPS coach.
Guys, go back and watch this. And here's the thing, like the first time you go skydiving, you jump out of the plane, it's like, and you're on the ground. The second time you go skydiving, it's like,
And by you mean you.
Yeah. You're like, oh, there's a farm. And then you're on the ground. The third time you get a little better. Go back and listen to this. What you're going to notice is Kara's distinct and attention that she puts on the language that she's saying. The things that are coming out of her mouth are not just willy-nilly, besides Kooky, right? Kooky was there. But it's very nuanced and it's very important. Like I gave her the guru tag, and for instance, she changed it, right? She's constantly working on the programming. You're in the presence of someone who is far, I'm not going to say expert, who is far along the road in this. It matters who you hang out with. It matters who you surround yourself with. Kara, I mean, we're about to run out of time here. Any final thoughts for these people on your delightful birthday today?
Oh, well, thank you for those that spent it with me. Thank you for those that are watching in the future and continuing the celebration of me. No, my final thought is, again, if you want something to change, look within. The first step, picking up the phone, shooting off that email, hitting the enroll button on that course, that's the hardest part. From there, we gotcha. We'll lock arms as a coach, or as the instructor of the different EWTS courses, or even language of sales. I gotcha. I'm there with you. But hit the button. Take the chance. Do something selfishly for you that will benefit other people.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the one, the only Kara Mall. Guys, karamall.com. Happy Thursday. It is time to start repairing your nets and sharpening your tools so when the storm breaks, we can get out there and fish, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, let's do it.
See you guys later. Thanks for joining us.
Kyle.